Hello, good morning, children. So, today we are going to continue with lesson 6, the 100 races part 2. But before moving towards it, let us have a glance what we have read in lesson 5, the 100 races part 1. As Venda was being teased by Peggy and other students in the school because she was different, they made fun of her polished name and laughed at her. After some days, Venda stopped coming school. No one noticed her absence, but on day of the result declaration of drawing competition, Venda was declared the winner of the competition as she had made drawings of 100 different designs of dresses. Everyone missed her. So let us see now. Uh, While the class was circling the room, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note. When the students they were moving, they were walking in the class. The monitor of their class he brought a note from principal's office for Miss Mason, their teacher. Miss Mason read it several times and studied it thoughtfully for a while. Miss Mason read that note many times and observed or studied it thoughtfully for some time. Then she clapped her hands, attention class, and after observing that note, she clapped her hand and asked the class to be attentive. Everybody back to their seat, and all the students they moved towards their seats. When the shuffling of feet had stopped and the room was still and quiet, Miss Mason said, I have a letter from Vanda's father that I want to read to you. When the children or the students they settled and sound of feet stopped, the room became still quiet. Miss Mason said that she had a letter from Vanda's father and she wanted to read that letter to the students. Miss Mason stood there for a moment. The silence in the room grew tense and expectant. So Miss Mason she kept standing in the room for a while, and the silence or the atmosphere of the room it grew full of tension and eagerness. The teacher adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately. The teacher, she adjusted her specs slowly and intentionally. Her manner indicated that what was coming. Her manner of adjusting glasses that showed that what was going to happen. This letter from Vanda's father was a matter of great importance. The letter of Vanda's father was very important. So everybody listened closely as Miss Mason read the brief notes. All the students they listened that letter very carefully when Miss Mason read that, and this was that letter, this was that note. What was written there, let us see. Dear teacher, my Venda will not come to your school anymore, Jake also. So Venda's father he had written that my daughter Venda will not come to school and Jake will also not come. Now we move away to big city, and he had written that they were moving to a big city. No more holler pollock. Holler pollock is a phrase for Polish descent, so nobody will discriminate by calling them Polish. No more ask why funny name, and nobody will ask about their funny names. Plenty of funny names in the big city. And he added that there are many funny names in the big cities. Yours truly, Jan Pintrosky. A deep silence met the reading of this letter. After finishing this letter, a deep silence spread over there in the room. Miss Mason took off her glasses, blew on them, and wiped them on her soft white handkerchief. So Miss Mason she removed her specs, blew on them, and cleaned them with her soft white handkerchief. Then she put them on again and looked at the class. Again she put on her glasses and looked at the class. When she spoke, her voice and was very low, and she spoke in a very low voice. What she said, I'm sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings because his or her name happened to be a long unfamiliar one. What Miss Mason said now, that she is sure that no boys or girls in that room number 13 would hurt anyone purposely and intentionally by calling their names or by making fun of their names, because anybody's name is to be a long unfamiliar one. Then she continued, I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. He said what had happened, whatever you have said to her, it was said thoughtlessly, or unintentionally. I know that all of you feel the way I do. And she also added that I know, or she knew that everybody feels like her. That this is a very unfortunate thing to have happened. Whatever happened, that was very unfortunate and sad both, and I want you all to think about it. And Miss Mason, she asked the students to think over what had happened. The first period was a study period. Mary tried to prepare her lessons, but she could not put her mind on her work. The first period was a study period, it was of some subject period. So Mary, she tried to do her work, she tried to prepare her lesson, but she could not pay her full attention towards her work. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her stomach. Means she felt very uncomfortable. True, she had not enjoyed listening to Peggy ask Wenda how many dresses she had in her closet, but she had said nothing. She was thinking that it's true that she was not enjoying whatever was happening with Wanda, or she did not like when Peggy was asking Wanda how many dresses she had in her quiet, but she did not say anything. But Maddie, she did not say anything. That was her fault, and she was regretting for that. She had stood by silently. She kept standing there silently, and that was just as bad as what Peggy had done, worse. And she was thinking it is equally bad to keep quiet by seeing, by watching something wrong happening. And she felt herself as wrong as Peggy was. She was a coward. Coward mean a fearful person who does not oppose wrong things. At least Peggy hadn't considered they were being mean, but Maddie, had thought they were doing wrong. Peggy, she was not having any feelings of regret, but Maddie, she thought they were doing wrong. She could put herself in Vanda's shoes. Put herself in Vanda's shoes mean she was thinking herself keeping at the place of Vanda. Goodness. What is goodness now? Wasn't there anything she could do? Why she had not done anything? There were so many things she could have done if only she could tell Vanda she hadn't meant to hurt her feelings. And now she was regretting that if she might have told Vanda that they were not mean to hurt her feelings. She turned around and stole a glance at Peggy. Now she was thinking, Maddie, she was thinking all these things at the same time. She turned around to look at Peggy stealthily, but Peggy did not look up. But Peggy, she was busy, she did not look up. She seemed to be studying hard, and it seemed as Peggy, she was observed, she was busy, she was studying very hard. Well, whether Peggy felt badly or not, Maddie had to do something. Now, Maddie, she was thinking whether Peggy was feeling bad or not, but she should do something. So she had to find Vanda Pentrosky. She thought that she should find Vanda Pentrosky. Maybe she had not yet moved away. Maybe she was still there in Boggins Heights. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her, and they would tell Vanda she had won the contest, that they thought she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. Now she was thinking that maybe Peggy would accompany her to go to Heights or Boggins Heights where Vanda was living, and they would tell Vanda that she had won the contest, and they thought that she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. So that's all for today.